Hey boys and girls, it's Mrs. Davis here at home, and we are going to be talking about the planet Earth again. We have discovered a lot of really interesting facts about the planets in our solar system. Yeah, there's some interesting things out there. One thing we've learned for sure is that the third planet from the sun, the planet Earth, our home in outer space, is the greatest planet in the solar system, and we know why. It's the only planet that has a life on it. We have so many wonderful natural resources. We have water, we have air, we have green plants, we have amazing animals, and of course, we live on the planet Earth. And we also have learned that it's going to be very important for us to take care of this wonderful planet because there's no other planet in the solar system that we can go to if something happens to this great place. So we've been talking about doing some things to help the planet. Remember the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle? Yeah, if we work hard to reduce, reuse, and recycle, we can really help the planet. So let's think about reusing. Reusing means you're going to take something and use it again for a different purpose. For instance, this box that I have, it was once a juice box container. I cut it and put some contact paper on it, and now it can hold books. It's a little book container. So that's how you could reuse. We can reduce by turning off the water while we're brushing our teeth, and we can turn off the lights when we leave the room. We can also do some recycling. I have my recycling container here, and it contains plastic, glass, and even some aluminum. Remember, if you are wanting to recycle in North Carolina, look for a symbol that has 3 arrows that go in a shape of a triangle, and you will see the number 1 or the number 2. That's especially for plastics. This milk jug, it's really large. Can you imagine how much space these take up in the landfill? I'm glad I can collect milk jugs and water containers, and I'm so glad that I can send them to a recycling center. At the recycling center, they are going to change these items and transform them into something brand new. That's awesome. Oh yeah, I forgot. I also have something special to show you. I was able to run by the school and pick up my compost pile. Now, normally if we're at school and we're talking about the planet Earth, I usually let the kids bring some food scraps from the cafeteria, like old apple cores or banana peels. But since we're not at school, I decided to bring this home and do some collecting here at my house. Now, some things you can put in a compost pile are fruits and vegetable scraps. Instead of throwing these away, you can put them in a collection called a compost pile, and it will decompose over time, and it forms a very nutritious and rich soil that you can put on your gardens and in your flower beds. And wow, we can really help the planet Earth by creating a compost pile. Maybe you and your family want to do this as a project this summer. I'm definitely going to be adding more to my compost pile. Now I'm going to read you a cute story called Michael Recycle. In this story, this green-caped crusader goes to a town and helps the people clean it up. So listen and enjoy and learn. Michael, recycle. This is really cute. I know you're going to love it. There once was a town called Aberdourimy, where garbage was left to grow rotten and slimy. It never smelled fresh. The air was all hazy. But the people did nothing. They got rather lazy. And then something happened that none could explain. It wasn't a bird and it wasn't a plane. A green-caped crusader soared through the air with a colander hat on top of his hair. He bounced off the earth with a thump and a bump, and then landed headfirst in the town garbage dump. He brushed off his suit as he jumped to his feet and grinned at the townsfolk who he'd come to meet. I'm Michael Recycle, and I have a plan, but I need your help, everyone to a man. The sky and the river are smelly and brown. Some 50-foot bugs will take over your town. You've got to recycle. You've got to act soon before all your trash reaches up to the moon. Then, crushing a can, he gave them a wink, then vanished from sight before they could blink. Miss Mooncotch exclaimed to her friend Mr. Crew, "Did you happen to hear what that boy said to do? Clean up and recycle. How hard can that be? A green and clean town would be lovely to see." They recycled their paper, their plastic and cans, and even old junk like used pots and pans. They also began a Be Greener campaign. They grew their own kumquats and saved up the rain. So proud was the town of their green transformation. They threw a great party, a grand celebration. They covered the town in green toilet paper. Oh my. Then rolled it back up to use again later. You may think that's yucky, but these folks don't agree. In Aberdourimy, recycling is key. When Michael came back to visit the town, he didn't despair, get angry, or frown, for everything looked so clean and brand new. The sky and the river were again a bright blue. Look at our town. It gleams and it glitters. Now nothing's wasted and nobody litters. To Michael Recycle, the green-caped crusader, our super green hero, the planet's new savior. But Michael Recycle was nowhere around. He'd already moved on to help the next town. So if you should see a green silhouette streaking the skies, please don't get upset. The noises you hear, that clunk and that thunk, it's just our friend Michael recycling old junk. Oh, that is such a great story. I love the illustrations, and I think it is a cute rhyming story, but I definitely love the fact that we can all work together and do our part in our towns, our neighborhoods, and even in our own backyards to keep the planet Earth clean and green. Now, I want you to do one more thing for me. I'm going to read a little mini story, very short, very, very short. And in this story, you're going to hear a problem, and you're also going to hear the solution to the problem. And what I'd like you to do is listen closely, because you are going to be grabbing your spiral, and I want you to label problem, and then I just split my spiral in half into 2 parts. I wrote the word problem, and then I wrote the word solution. In our little mini story, 2 kids are going to discover a problem on the planet Earth. And they're also going to think of a way to solve it. So I want you to listen closely to the little mini story, and then you're going to write a sentence to tell me what you think the problem is and how the kids fixed or solved the problem. All right, get your listening ears on, Earth Helpers. Here we go. Rosa and Mike found trash on the beach. Mike said, "What a mess. What can we do?" They asked their teacher to help. The whole class came to the beach. They cleaned up the trash. All right, get busy. Think about what the problem was and write it down. And of course, write down how the problem got fixed. And of course, as always, take a picture of your work and send it to me so I can see how you figured out what the problem and the solution to that problem was. All right, Earth Helpers, until our next lesson on the planet Earth, have a good one, and I'll see you soon.